What is life?
I didn't come here to upset you.
They say bread is life. And I bake bread, and I sweat and shovel this stinking dough in and out of this hot hole in the wall, and I should be so happy. Huh, sweetie? You want me to come to the wedding of my brother Johnny?
Hi, I'm Sophie.
Hi, I'm Paul. And we are
SP Film Viewers.
Sophie.
Yeah?
Do you believe in life after love?
Oh. Life after love, yeah. Am I singing Cher?
Well, I'm singing Cher as quoting a Cher song. But the reason
Do
for...
you?
Sure. But the reason I bring it up is because we're watching a film that features Cher in the starring role.
Can she act? I've never seen her act.
Neither have I. But I know she has done in other films.
And is this one both of us have not seen?
That's correct.
Right. Okay.
And it also stars Nicolas Cage, who you've...
Oh, you're not selling this, Paul.
You have seen in films.
Yeah, but he don't really act, does he?
What are you talking about? Of course he acts.
He don't.
He's one of the great actors of all time.
I hope you're being sarcastic. He just talks.
Isn't that what actors do? Talk?
No, like
With feeling.
There's no feeling.
There is in these performances. You can't say there's not.
No, but it's not emotional. Like, it's not like he's just like...
Doesn't make you shed a tear. Like, oh, wow, that's impactful.
You're not feeling that he's actually feeling that. Like, he's just expressing the line.
Generally in an angry state.
Well, yeah.
But it's, that on paper that sounds like, interesting. But it's something I've kind of wanted to see for a while. You might get something out of it because it is listed as like a rom-com of sorts.
Okay. Why have you picked this?
Well, I say, because it's something I've wanted to see for a while. I even had a quick look on Letterboxd, like, scores, like, not like reviews of them, but just like the star ratings, and pretty positive across the board. Whether that's like genuine or not is another matter, but I kind of want to go into it kind of fairly blind, but
okay.
I'm just very intrigued to
What's it called?
check out. The film is called Moonstruck.
How does the moon struck you?
How does the moon strike you?
Struck you.
Grammatically, like he just like frozen. I don't know.
Have you ever been moonstruck?
You know, like when you're awestruck, you're like, oh my god, like shocked, and you just can't do or say anything because you just.
Well, that's
so
more like, to me, a rabbit trapped in headlights. That's what I'd call it.
Yeah. Okay.
So they need to change the title.
I don't know whether there's how much of the moon is involved, or it's just all takes place at night, or what. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can read the
Yes.
synopsis too, for a bit more clarity, I guess.
Is Cher going to be singing?
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Would
You
that be a problem?
started with the believe in life after love,
Yeah.
so I'm just wondering, like, was she full into her singing career at this point? What is Cher's name?
Cher.
No, but
What
is
was
it like Elton and then he's Elton John? Like, she must have a last name.
Is she like the Joker? So it's like nobody knows her actual name. It's not listed on Google, like, you know, like where it does like formally known as, or like professionally known as Cher, but it tells you the actual. It doesn't say that.
Like,
So,
is Cher actually her name, or is it just a stage name?
like Zendaya. She just
That's her name, though.
like Seal. You know, like just.
Yeah, or Kylie.
But she goes Kylie Minogue.
Yeah, but you call her Kylie.
Anyway.
You know you're famous when you only have one name.
Yeah. McLovin. You know. Throwback to Superbad episode. Anyway, the film synopsis reads as follows. A bookkeeper from Brooklyn finds herself in a difficult situation when she falls for the brother of the man she has agreed to marry.
That's spoilers, isn't it? I mean, it's telling me the whole film.
Very plain and simple, though, isn't it? Like as a storyline, like that's
Well,
very
that's
I guess that's pretty typical, isn't it? That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
But
I'm guessing it's a female that shares with the bookkeeper. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I assume, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how integral that is, but I just.
So it's like me being engaged to you and then marrying Joe.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm intrigued to know what all the fuss is about. It's must have something more to it than the typical cliche stuff. But what is interesting, the fact that it's in the, I haven't got the disc, but it is in the Criterion collection. So
that's why we're watching it. If it wasn't in it, you wouldn't even have a ounce of wanting to watch it. It's a rom-com we're sharing. Never did I ever think.
Yeah, if you're thinking we're covering that.
Okay.
Right, well, let's go and check out Moonstruck.
Now, wait a minute, honey. Listen, all right. I won't come to the wedding provided one thing.
What?
That you come with me tonight to the opera.
What are you talking about?
I love two things. I love you and I love the opera. Now, if I can have the two things that I love together for one night, I would be satisfied to give up, oh, Christ, to give up the rest of my life.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Meet me at the mat.
All right.
And we're back after watching Moonstruck. And were you, in fact, moonstruck by the film?
No. Should I have been?
Were you in awe of,
No.
of the performances given? No.
Well, Cher impressed me, but I went with low expectations, so she actually...
Well, same for me, to be fair. And yeah, no, I can't say that she gave a poor performance, because you think with singers and thinking, oh, trying to dip the toes into acting.
Yeah.
How is it going to come across?
But then you can say that about actors trying to sing. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Just sometimes stick to one lane, but they like
But then
to
some people they can do both, and they are talented.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, I think overall her performance was, quite good.
Well, I did find out that for the time this came out, 1987, which was, and if I didn't realise after the fact that obviously the last episode we did, that was 1986, so we've covered a film year after. But anyway, she won Best Actress for this performance, which is kind of...
Must have been slim pickings. No?
And the film had 3 Academy Awards.
You were joking?
No.
Yeah, they wouldn't have created many films back then, will they?
Well, I think you'll find there was a lot... the business was booming.
No, but like compared to like nowadays, where you can have Oppenheimer and Barbie like in one year, and there's lots of really, really good movies that come out. I feel like
a lot of diverse films, you mean, or
yeah, and like like Poor Things, where that's going to be like an Oscar, Grammy winning, whatever.
Grammys is music,
whatever it is. I thought I'd done right with Oscars, and then went off on a tangent. But that they're going to win awards.
Certain films you just know they do. But
would have said, but then was it a different era back then? Would this have been like probably a really loved film? It's like thinking about early 90s films, isn't it, where it would have been mainly rom-coms. You never know, Jennifer Lopez probably won something because she's been in several.
Yeah, I'm not too up on like how we're like in those days. I've only really been sort of paying attention to what's in like the Oscars and stuff of recent years, because
Yeah.
obviously like following this thing on Instagram and stuff and posts about it and stuff, it's more easy to follow along with that as opposed to in the past where I wouldn't have really been doing that when I was a younger self. But anyway,
I think that makes you realise, like, if this is like she's the best actress of that year, like, don't get me wrong, she was great, but she's no Margot Robbie, is she? Like in Barbie, where you're absolutely feeling everything. Like,
no, true.
You know, if you compare the two performances,
yeah,
like
it's different, isn't it? It's like with, you could say the same with like really, really much older films as well, and that's the way they acted in those films is vastly different to how it comes across now with.
Like, I sound awful now because, like, I do think she is great, but I don't think she's worthy of Best Actor of the Year. Like, you know, I feel like that's pretty extreme. Probably it's just because of who she is that's why she's got that, if that makes sense. But overall, yeah, like, it was a solid performance. I wouldn't be like, oh, this is an Oscar-winning movie, though.
It's a very Italian-American movie, let's say, isn't it? Very much dripping in it.
What did you get out of me when we watched it? Is Cher Italian? So we had to Google that. Paul's like looking at me like, so if you just watched the film. Then I went, are these people from the Mafia? Because they're obviously...
The sound. Hey, like...
American Italians.
What are you doing?
So I Googled that. And then I was like, how old is Cher here, like, in the film? Well, she's acting like a 37-year-old because she had grey hair. So I was like, but I think actually, to be fair, either it was her greys or they'd put grey in her for her character. We do have a very, very young, what's his name?
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Nick Cage, yeah. Who's the younger brother of the person she's...
Don't you think he's a bit simple?
What do you mean by simple, exactly?
I think it's just his character's like quite one-liner, or like it's the sentence doesn't feel as coherent. Like, it's like, my hand, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Sorry, he lost his hand and he lost his pride.
Well, I'm sorry, he picked the wrong bride. If you'd lost your hand, I'd
Johnny
still be with
has
you.
his hand. Johnny has his pride.
Exactly, that's what I mean. He sounds simple. And the way he delivers it as well, it's like monotone.
I was like, oh, it was so good. It was like, I know, sort of come to expect from Nicolas Cage, like how he sort of hams up these performances sometimes. And he's a bit like how like I've said, like in the past, like how Willem Dafoe, like I always look forward to seeing his performance. No matter what he does, obviously generally he's playing things a lot more serious and
he's a better actor.
But it's with Nicolas Cage, like, well, how's he going to spin this as like some kind of crazy line delivery, and just how he says things is like, it's probably the most sort of like exciting part of like when he was on screen, like how is he going to deliver this line and act and stuff, and it's like I'm just like chuckling away, like just with how he says things, and sort of getting enjoyment from it in that sense.
Because you're laughing at him, or you appreciate him as an artist.
I'm sort of laughing at him,
okay.
Not with him. Because,
not with him. Okay, that's all right.
He's not meant to come across as like a funny actor. It's meant to be like taken super like
I don't
serious.
take any of his stuff seriously, and I think that's the awful thing about it. Don't get me wrong, he looks completely hench. Like he looks like the youngest version and muscular.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, he actually did look good.
Yeah, there's like will have been his early work.
Yeah.
And I said he got like more of a hairy chest than I have.
Yeah, but it was weird because then the rest of him's not that hairy. It's really disproportioned. It just looks like he shaved all of his arm hair and put it on his chest. I'll be honest, I really was looking forward to this. He just...
You didn't say that at the start, though.
Well, I would kind of like, oh, it's a rom-com.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what Cher's like.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how much of a part Nicolas Cage was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, he has got a big part. It's, I don't know, it's just a bit cringe.
The whole thing, or just how
once he comes on the screen.
Yeah. Right.
Like, I do actually think for Cher, like, she's an accountant, she's a bookkeeper, she's living at home, she's 37 years old. you do actually feel for her character because she was married for like 2 years, and then he got run over by a bus or a car or something. He died in an accident.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I'm never going to
Yeah,
find anybody
yeah.
else like
Yeah.
him. And
She's got bad luck, as the family kind of dubs, really. Yeah.
And I think she's just settling for the older brother.
Mm-hmm.
And just like he's proposing to her. And she's just like, well, make sure you do it right. And, you know, I think she's just thinking, well, what is my life? And, right, anyone will do, basically. No, I really genuinely do think that. She wants kids, she wants to settle down. She's like, well, I'm 37. You know, like, my time's running out, I think, in her opinion. But then, is that the right reason to marry somebody? Well, probably isn't.
Well, no, not really.
So the whole crook of this is Johnny wants to marry Cher's character, but he has to go back to Sicily because his mum's poorly.
Yeah. Cher's character's called Loretta.
Yeah, she's going to be called Cher.
Okay.
And that old lady curses the plane because the sister's on it, and she cheats on one of her boyfriends, she said, or something like.
The old woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's though never loved him anyway or something. It was almost like just to spite me.
So I've cursed my plane and want my sister to die, basically, but I don't think that happens because obviously Johnny gets to Sicily.
Well, yeah, if he's Cher or Loretta says, I don't believe in curses, but the old woman's like, well, neither do I. But I think it's just wishful thinking. That's like, oh, just throw it out there to the universe and
see what happens.
From pray.
And then obviously Cher's got this responsibility of planning the wedding within a month, which just seems a bit ridiculous and absurd. Like nowadays,
that's more like her demands on that, isn't it? She's like, just let's hurry this up because time's ticking.
But then Johnny's like, well, I need you to speak to my brother. I want him at the wedding, and I want him to be there. And that's when Cher's obviously, that's like her now mission to get the brother to come to the wedding. And obviously, then you already read the synopsis, so you know the end.
Leads.
There you go. That's the podcast done. Right, that's the film in pretty much 10 seconds.
Well, I'll say that is the rundown of what goes on in the film storyline, but there's also the underlying things of how the other characters that we have as well, like the mother and father of Loretta, the father's father with the 5 dogs.
Oh, he's so cute. There's a little one that's really cute that I'd just steal. Obviously, it's probably dead now, but if I could have it, I would. I really like the granddad. I think he's quite a cute character. And I feel like the household and the family itself is quite sweet. Like, they want to stick together. Logically, she wants to move Johnny in, but she's like, well, Dad don't like Johnny, so I'm going to have to get another place. But actually, she would want to live with a partner, with her parents and her granddad. Like, that's what she would prefer.
The dad is also... I was like, oh, I recognise him from something. And I was like, oh yeah, clicked when it was Mr. Mushnick from Little Shop of Horrors.
The owner of the shop?
Yeah.
Is he older in this?
I think that was 1 year before Little Shop of Horrors was.
So not much age difference then.
No.
Who's the mother?
The character's called Rose. The actress...
Have you seen her in anything else?
The actress is Olympia Dukakis. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but Look Who's Talking, apparently.
Oh, the mum.
I'm guessing so. I haven't seen Look Who's Talking.
Are you not?
No.
Okay. You'd hate it.
Banking that in.
Yeah.
Why would I hate it?
You would hate it. The baby would just freak you because it just looks crap.
Oh, no.
Oh,
right.
why I so want to do this.
And just kind of like the typical, I say, rom-com kind of drama thing she does.
So if we watch Look Who's Talking, you're going to have to watch Look Who's Talking 2 because it's even worse.
There's a Look Who's Talking Now as well.
Oh, yeah. So we'll do a trilogy of them.
Oh, God.
Shouldn't have said that. I only knew about the 2 of them, Paul.
Have you not seen
I don't think I've seen the 3rd one, no.
Jesus.
The 2nd one was worse enough.
Well, if you're saying it's bad...
It is bad. I think now watching it, I'd hate it.
Right.
but I grew up with it, so it's not
Okay.
as bad as. Whereas I think you
Okay.
despise it.
And yeah, so what seemed on the surface like they're still in the mother and father is in like a loving relationship, but it's soon learned later on that Cosmo, who's the father, has a bit on the side, basically, or somebody.
I don't know if it's an older generation thing, or men are just greedy. It's like he's got a wonderful wife at home that's looking after the house. He clearly loves her. He's married to her. He's had several children with her. And now it's like, oh, I've used you. You're a dirty old rag. I want something new and shiny. Like, it's like having to buy a new car, kind of midlife crisis kind of thing, I feel. Like, he's going through like I'm going to die, so I need a newer
what's
woman.
the line, wasn't it? Like, men chase women because they fear death. Something as if like that's.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Again, what you were saying before about like sort of like to feel young, I suppose, as opposed to like if they do that, then they feel like they've got the thrill of
A younger model.
Yeah, and it's like, oh well, I'm not gonna.
Still not going to prevent you from death.
Because you could die at any time, of course.
Well, yeah. Paul get no ideas. It's not going to make a difference.
No, it's not an elixir that's going to.
No, it's not.
De-age you, no.
I think the dad's a bit like, at the beginning he's like not wanting to really support Cher with her marriage. He's quite negative. I think he feels like he's going to die anyway, so he's not really bothered, but then he's got this mistress on the side. It's very conflicting. I do feel sorry for the mum. I think she generally loves him and like in the end has to call him out on it and say, look, do you love me or not? Because if you do, then you need to stop this, because otherwise this isn't going to work. And the granddad looks a bit bemused because he's thinking that she's actually cheating on his son.
With, I'm going to say Frasier's dad.
Yeah, pretty much. He looks good.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he does, yeah. So I think it's all been when Frasier will have been in prime TV spots.
But I don't know, he always looked older on Frasier than he did here.
Because he's got the cane and everything.
Yeah.
He's sat in the chair all the time.
I think it's his lines as well that he has to say. But obviously this guy is the same kind of principle where he's going for very young girls.
But literally gets thrown back in his face, essentially. Constantly.
And then obviously she's sat on her own eating, and he's like, "Why are you on your own?" They eat food together, but it's all monogamy. It's all like friendship, or it's not anything ill intent.
Yeah, doesn't go any further than that. It's quite sweet like that. I think it was. I didn't think, oh well, she's going to actually now cover him. I think it was just more like just someone to.
Don't get me wrong, he wanted her, like.
Yeah,
even though she's a lot older than him, which was weird, but. The fact that he'd gone for a younger model and then gone for an older one. It's like, just find your happy medium. But he was like a side character that you just saw every time at the restaurant. But we joked about when we were in the lakes for my birthday last year. And we had somebody next to us that were having a fallout and breaking up. Me and you were having a bloody good time enjoying this food.
And they were literally on the table next to us, and it's like, oh, this is so awkward. This is like it from a film like this, of sort of like a rom-com thing, where it's like, oh, really? And it's like just trying not just eat the meal nicely and try to have a nice conversation, but then the other two were like muttering across from each other, like, in this sulky mood. And
but don't you feel like they were looking over at us because then we were too happy?
I know, it's God,
it was really awkward.
It really was. No water or anything was thrown in anybody's face, but I kind of wish they didn't, and then they could have buggered off. But
yeah, they did want to move tables, but they wouldn't let them, and we were like, oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, really is.
It sounded like they wanted to move away from us, and it were like, well, I don't think we're the problem.
Anyway, yeah. And there's a lot of, I say, analogies or things brought up about the moon. Luna.
Yeah.
The moon brings the woman to the man. Or something. It's like one of those.
Some form of werewolf.
Yeah. Well, there's wolves as well brought up as well.
Yeah.
Of that, like like there's the dog's howling at the moon as well, and Ronnie, and he's feels like he's been trapped by a woman, or this is more Loretta's observations. For that, she's trapped by a woman, caught in a bear trap or something like that. Let's say, and that he's chewed off his own foot to save himself. I.e., like
his
got
hand.
his hand, yeah, in this accident that he had to break free from that.
Do you think, though, he actually didn't love her then? Is that what Loretta's Cher's trying to say? It made it sound like he was smitten by her and that he was devastated, and that's why he'd fallen out with Johnny.
Well, yeah, he said that his bride at the time, like, once this accident happened, that she, like, just left him because...
Imagine if you became handless, Paul, and I'm like, well, no, don't find you attractive anymore. I'm gonna have to leave you. I mean, if you actually
pretty petty,
loved... Yeah.
if you think about it that way, but it's not like you can't do anything else. It's not the saying, like, oh, if you lost your leg, it's alright to, like, yeah, it's more justified to do that, you know. But I reckon...
Just comparing which limb matters, Paul. Okay, I'll make sure I don't lose my legs.
Because of the mobility factor of that.
Oh, you'd have to care for me. Is that what you're meaning? I could get by with one hand, but I couldn't hop along. Just to push a wheelchair, it'd make more effort. Jesus. Oh, please, nobody run me over because me and Paul will be done. I don't think I can stay with you if your ear gets chopped off.
My what?
Ear.
My ear? Why?
I don't know, just linking to his previous podcast.
Okay. Would it gross you out, is that?
Yeah. I don't think it would really. I just would love you no matter what, but...
What if I lost an eye? I'd have to wear like an eye patch.
It'd be fine.
Would
I
that...
think you'd suit it. You could just get a glass eye. Why would you lose an eye?
I don't know. Why would I lose a hand? Or a leg?
Well, that does seem more legit. Like, you could have an accident, but yeah. The fact that he loses this, his hand cutting a slice of bread as well. Like, he's still making bread. And so, I don't know, he just seems really bitter in his lines. Like, some of it was like, I think it's just how they get together really miffs me off.
Yeah, it was a great scene that where he kind of like flips the table over and then he starts kissing her and then she's like, wait a minute. And then starts immediately like making out with him again, and then let's go to the bedroom. And
he's like, bed. That's all he says, and it's like, okay then. I'm thinking,
yeah. I was like, oh, take your anger out on me, and throws everything, and then
like she's doing it like so that she can marry Johnny. It feels like, oh well, like I'll do this, and then the next day she's like, this never happened. This was the worst. I'm thinking, well, you weren't saying that the night before, were you? I don't know. It just seemed like you've only just met him, and then now you like.
Fall in love with him straight away, yeah.
But I think it's more because he's a puzzle. He's a mystery man. Like, he's...
Deep.
To that. I think he's just not as obvious as what you think. Like, if Shrek would say he's got layers.
Right.
So I think he's like, oh, well, he's a hard puzzle to crack. Like, he's got issues. I need to fix them.
But I like the fact that he said, he's so deep that it's the moon. It's like a giant snowball. Like, wow, yeah, profound.
What are you looking at? The moon. Some of the lines are just like, who wrote this?
There is a writer. I don't know who. I haven't written that down.
Oh, wasn't the line as well where it says "son of a bitch"? I wrote it down. He kisses her and says, "Wait," and then he says "son of a bitch," and then he says, "Right, we're going to bed." Basically, so I think that's like with a table, like he's having a paddy, and then literally, like if you were having a paddy and then like screaming and effing and jeffing, that's not gonna make me then go, oh yeah, like it's not. It'd be like, I don't really like you, like in this state, so I'll leave you to it. You get over yourself, and I'll come back once you. Yeah. But he's like a whole different character of, oh, I want to take you to the opera. I'm thinking, I'd never think that character would want to go to the opera.
No, not really.
Cher clearly fancies the pants off him because she gets her hair done, a new dress, and it makes you feel implied that she spent work's money as well because she forgets to go to the bank.
That's a good sort of twist turnaround of that as well. Yeah, because you're thinking she's done that because literally before she goes to that, she's been tasked to take this to the bank. And you're thinking, it's very expensive doing it, your hair done and getting new dresses and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, new shoes and everything.
Yeah. But revealed it and then it's like, oh no, sorry, I forgot about it. Like,
it kind of reminds me slightly of the pinch of It's a Wonderful Life with getting the money to the bank kind of thing.
Uncle Billy doing thing with that, yeah.
But then she obviously spots her dad at the opera as well with his mistress.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, obviously, I don't think your parents would ever do that to one another, but I don't know, how would you approach it? Because she's like straight away calls her dad's bluff and she's like, "Oi, what you doing?" Like, what would you feel like in that situation? Would you run and hide and then have to think about it and then approach them later, or would you call them out? Like, if it were my dad and my mum together, I know I'd call them out straight away. I would probably.
But they're both in like a situation of that sort of infidelity factor anyway, aren't they?
They
In a
kind
sense,
of, but
it's like,
the dad don't know that.
well, no, but he just like suspect like, oh, why are you with? Oh, it's the brother, and it's like he kind of thinks about it as if like
She might be just getting to know him and being friends until Johnny gets back.
But then he's like, oh, well, we'll just keep it between us type of thing, and walks off pretty much. He's like, you don't say anything, I won't say anything about what happened here, like, or with this situation. But
it's not right, though, is it?
But you said when we're obviously like seeing part of the opera, you said, I don't think I'd ever want to go to the opera. It's not for you. You don't think there'd be any appeal to it, or not even like later down the line when we're a bit older?
Because it depends on what it is.
They are normally like either Italian or European and stuff.
That's
I think
the
that's
thing.
where
Like, if I'm not going to understand what they're saying, then
yeah, I
know,
suppose. But you kind of you feel it from the performances. I think it's more that and the visuals that tell the story. That can be translated almost to any language. I suppose.
Then is it like watching a silent film, kind of?
Yeah,
I'm just making up what I think they're saying.
Well, but I mean, in silent films, you do have the text sometimes popping up saying what's been said, but
yeah, obviously I'm hearing stuff, but I just don't know what it means, so I can't interpretate it. I don't know. It depends. If it's like a lot of money, then I don't know if I'd feel like it's worth it.
I think that once in my life I would be intrigued to do it, but don't know when. But again, like what particular one? I've no idea. Like, oh yes, that's on. I must go and see that.
Don't get me wrong. If you wanted to go, I'd go. Like you know me. Like
that. Like the idea of like with like even just like classical music. I know it might sound that sounds really boring. Just watching people just playing instruments and stuff. But
you're a little old man inside, aren't you? I like classical music.
There's nothing wrong with classical music.
No, there isn't. You're cute. You're very eclectic.
Well, I say film scores come under classical technically.
I guess, yeah.
Things in in Jurassic Park and stuff, and what would say John Williams, who's done like Harry Potter and things like that.
You're right.
Oh. Anyway, but anyway,
if we did an opera of Harry Potter or something like that, I'd go.
Right. Okay.
I think I feel like it'd make more beneficial if I knew something relevant to it. I think that's what I'm meaning. Not just a random opera that I'm
What about off the tangent here, but like ballet, like Swan Lake?
Yeah.
Or something like that, which is...
Yeah, because I know the story already, so it's, then I know what it's going for.
That's dancing with classical music playing.
I think I'd prefer it if it danced as well, yeah. I mean...
Yeah. I think when you said earlier about he says like bed or whatever, he says like something similar later on in the film, where he's like some spiel about like love and stuff, and it's like, no, come upstairs and get in my bed kind of thing. Like he's like you said, he's like trying to coax a dog. Come boy.
I don't know. I think any woman that you said that to would not be like, oh,
she's like, oh, okay, but she was moaning it was cold outside, so she's like, well,
so it
when you put it like that.
I don't know, she just seems besotted by him, and I just don't really know what it is.
You don't see the appeal. He's not like a young Brad Pitt or...
No.
Or
don't get me wrong, he looks better than he does older, but it's not compared to like Brad Pitt. Right. Not one bit. So obviously coming towards the end, we've got Cher's character feeling like she has to confess and tell the truth, and Johnny's on his way back, and then obviously the dad and the mum have that little bit, so it's like all the confessions are happening at once. Ronnie shows up and he's like, confessing his love towards Cher and everything. So he's waiting for Johnny to get back as well, so now it's all like this waiting game of, when's he going to show up? Like, you just start waiting around for him to appear.
Yeah, then everybody else is like coming at the door, so who's this now?
Yeah, every 2 minutes. But Johnny actually helps Cher out a little bit. So, like, you think she's going to have this hard conversation of, like, oh, I've met Ronnie. I really, really love him. I can't marry you. Sorry, Johnny. I'm going with Ronnie. But he kind of goes, I've told my mum we're getting married and she's come round and she's fine. Like, she was on her deathbed, apparently. Then I told her, and now she's alive. It's very loosey-goosey pile of crap.
Yeah. Like, that would never happen.
And now I can't marry her. And I'm just like, well, why can't you marry her? Like, isn't that great? Your mum can be at the wedding. Like any normal person would be thankful and want to continue with the wedding, but it's like he just used her.
Yeah,
To
it
say
doesn't
to his
quite
mum.
make sense. Yeah, it's almost like it would make more sense if he said, I'm not marrying her, then she comes. But I don't know, like, the way that's...
It's like then he wants to kill his mum off again.
Yeah.
That's how I interpret it.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's like, oh, my mum were near enough dying. I wanted to tell her that I were marrying you. So that my mum knew I were getting married before she died or something. And then the mum wanted to plan a wedding, I guess, and wanted to stick around, and now I can't marry her. It's very weird. And it doesn't seem too fussed that she wants to be with Ronnie. It's like this weird engagement where it's like, oh, well, if you don't want her, I'll have her kind of thing. Give me that ring, though, because I don't have one.
Yeah. It's like, oh, sits in the corner for a little bit, and then grandfather's like, oh, come on, go with your, like, family now. It's a celebration, let's be happy. And it's like, oh, well, okay. I think so. It's very, strange. It was like that bit trying to tie it all together at the end is a bit, but I don't know.
All of it's a bit,
Yeah. And
what have you done to me?
And there was no singing from Cher.
No, there wasn't.
Which is that disappointment? Or...
No, I'm glad. She's actually just doing what she needs to be doing as an actress.
Yeah, talking like an Italian American.
Yeah, which she convinced me. I did Google it. There's no Italian in her though.
So maybe that's why she won the Best Actress for portraying something she's not.
Sorry, that's what acting is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that you can pull that off and be convincing enough. Is what I mean.
Yeah, but I think the expectation there is quite low.
Fast low, you're saying?
Yeah, because if that's all you think an actor should be able to do is portray a good accent consistently throughout, I feel like...
And you got to, well, obviously you got to have the performance as well, not just, I can do an accent, I can do a funny accent.
Yeah. But I think, like, if you think about, like, Emma Stone as an actress, like, compared to Cher, like, for Poor Things, like, even though that's trippy and messed up, like, her acting, like, the way she is, and getting into that role.
Yeah. I know it's different levels of that, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah,
that's
it
what
really
I'm
is.
meaning.
Yeah. It's different.
And I think it's different times.
Yeah. I don't think Nicolas Cage won.
Thank God. Well, to be fair, I did actually say Cher is acting better than he is. Like, overall, I do think Cher's performance was good. Yeah. And, well, I don't know if the script didn't do him any justice, or how he delivered it, or the lines weren't great. Bed. That's what I'm going to say now when I want to go to sleep. Bed.
I think he was trying to come across as if, like, sort of like that cool, like, James Dean vibe or something.
I was getting a simpleton. Like, he couldn't string a sentence together, so he's just like, go to bed. Sophie, bed. You know, just like... it just looked like he'd lost a couple of screw looses and a hand.
Oh dear. Well, I thought it was pretty entertaining for what the film was anyway.
I don't think that's what they were going for, Paul. I think that's the problem. It's like you watching your Room thing, and
was it on the level of that? It wasn't that bad, was it?
No, but the way he delivered his lines, like, was...
But was Tommy Wiseau, like...
He's creepy.
Worse. It's worse, isn't it?
Yeah, but it kind of felt a bit like that.
Oh, hi, Lisa.
Yeah. Like, just like...
I feel like it's not far off.
No.
Yeah.
Cher makes this film, I would say.
Yeah, and for me, I say they both work off each other in their own way, really, but for entertainment factor.
I don't think it's meant to be entertaining. I think you're getting the wrong gist. It's just meant to be a rom-com. It's no humour. It's not a comedy.
Sorry, there's no humour in a rom-com, romantic comedy.
But not in that way where you're laughing at him, you're not laughing with him. There's two different sides of it. Anything else?
Yes, when I said about where I looked at Letterboxd, just the star ratings, and then I, after the fact, looked at like, oh, okay, well, let's see what if some actual like short reviews of what that some people have given.
Okay.
I'm not gonna read the names out, but I've kind of picked out ones that are kind of just like a sentence long. So here's a few that kind of sprung out to me. Turns out the moon makes Italians lose their minds. Oh, to be an old man howling at the moon with his 5 dogs.
I agree.
Cher is the queen of slapping men and telling them to snap out of it.
Yeah.
A perfect movie to have on in the background while you're doing other things.
I agree.
And for the rest one, you might agree, definitely. This is just like The Godfather, but good.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Told you it had a Godfather accent.
And Goodfellas.
I was quite impressed with myself though. I think there was something on the other day. I don't know where we were, and I said, "Oh, you said something to me." Or we were watching something, and it did a clip of it, and I went, "Oh, that's The Godfather," and I can tell. Like, I'm aware. I think it was around Christmas. How much that's imprinted on me as a little child watching it so early on. Like, when, and I know it sounds stupid. That's why these ratings are there. Like, I know you can watch something when you're little and you're not meant to.
Yeah, you mean 18, 15? Yeah.
Because I think when I saw that horse's head in the bed, like, that stuck with
well,
me.
Yeah,
and
of course,
I was only about 8 years old or something. So I shouldn't be watching. I shouldn't have been watching it. But why are you laughing at me?
Well, no, of course, yeah. For something like that, it's very impressionable, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've got. I think we've talked long enough anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
So if I'm to give it a score, as far as rom-coms go, it's fairly decent. I can see the appeal of what people might be saying, it being like like you said, the entertainment value of the film. And from what I gather, it's probably not like they're not super genuine like takes on it. Like a critical thing of like, oh, this is like a masterpiece thing. This is more like oh my god, yeah, this is the greatest thing I've ever kind of seen. That kind of.
It's bad, so it's good.
It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. Like in like the way that The Room is, or Troll 2, or something like that. But I can see there's definitely a structure. It's just that how most of the enjoyment comes from Nicolas Cage's like performance, how he comes across. Really, for me. It's not, and to be honest, it's not the worst I've seen him act. And like,
that's because he was younger. He actually wanted a career at that point.
Yeah, but I've seen a different film where I think you would be like, "Oh my god," to it. It's but anyway, I would watch it again. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna put it at 8.
That's high. It's like a high rom-com. You don't normally rate rom-coms that highly.
So that's throwing you a curveball, like.
Yeah.
Throwing you for a loop.
So, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is the best film ever. Out of all the films in the world, let's put this on again. Like, that's not really on my thing. I think this is going to be on the list at the end of the year, and I'll be like,
oh, really?
What's this one?
Right, okay. I thought I was doing you a favour with being a rom-com.
I actually think the best part of it was Cher. The story was a bit wishy-washy. I think you love it for the wrong reasons. And they're the reasons that I don't love it. Which is why I'm going to give it a 6.
Wow. That's the turn of events, isn't it?
Yeah. I really thought we were going to be on the same page, so you've thrown me... I didn't expect an 8 to come out of your mouth. That's only because of his performance. That's the only reason you scored it so highly. It makes you laugh. Okay.
What can I say?
Sucker for a crap line. There we have it then.
That we do. Yeah, thank you for checking out this episode. Hope you enjoyed. And if you want to check out some of our other episodes, then you can do so by going to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and wherever else you get podcasts from. There's also the YouTube as well. I'll just throw that in there. Because we post the episodes do go live there as they do on the audio platforms. And if you want to leave us a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else to do the scoring system, that would be very much appreciated as well.
So if you haven't already, then you can follow us on social media. We are under the handle SP_filmviewers on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and X. We're also on Blue Sky under the handle SP_filmviewers.
SP Film Viewers, all one word.
Yeah, so just drop the underscore, basically.
Yeah.
So hit those, like, subscribes, follows, heart it, retweet it, whatever the hell you do.
Yeah. Yep. And I'd also like to thank the patrons, of course, for their continuing support with the show. If you want to have your name read out every single episode and have the opportunity to vote for a movie we watch once a month, then all you need to do is go to patreon.com/spfilmviewers to get those benefits. And now we're going to read out the names of those lovely people who are already part of the family.
So firstly, we've got my mum, and then we might as well go on to friends. So we've got Alex and Shani, who are both on Instagram under the handle Desperately Seeking Username and SDOG.
Also got friends Jonesy and Emma, who are at Weight Loss Jonesy and M_Hayton on Instagram.
We've also got Gren, who's on Instagram under the handle CGren_draw.
And lastly, we've got the podcast friends, who are Mark from 100 Things Learned from Film, Ben from Ben Push Pull Health, and Nico from the Good, the Bad, and the Weird podcast. So thank you, everybody, for your continuing support, as I say. And we'd love to have some new family members, as it were.
More girls.
Yeah.
I'll say it, Paul, so it doesn't sound weird coming out of your mouth. So if anyone does want to follow us, like, and become a Patreon and sway the vote a little bit more, that'd be appreciated. Well, I'd appreciate.
And I guess I'm sorry that you didn't appreciate.
It was okay. It wasn't so bad. Like, it's not the worst film I've ever seen. So thank you for trying to think of me.
So, thank you very much for listening once again. And we'll speak to you next time.
Speak to you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.